This is what it feels like to be sober all the time in a 20-something year time span. And you think you're going to turn out all right? Causing myself heart issues because I'm holding grudges. I'm making myself sick because I'm holding grudges. Stressing myself out because I ain't forgive that person. We gotta forgive. And now look at me. I'm going to God, asking him to get me out of something I put myself in. And a lot of us do this.
No, but welcome to Half to Full Podcast with me, your girl, Ricky T. We are back. So how y'all doing? What's going on? You know, y'all miss me because I missed y'all. Period. So today, the topic of discussion is going to be the waiting room. Now, what is the waiting room, you might ask? So the waiting room is just a process that you go through with God. It's a time period of character development, emotional development, spiritual development, everything. A lot of shedding, a lot of change, a lot of uncomfortableness. Is that even a word? Uncomfortableness. Is that a word? Whatever. Uncomfortableness and just overall growth. So let me tell you what my waiting room period looked like. So let's rewind. Maybe about 5 years ago. Oh, my voice. 5 years ago, I went through a really bad situation, and after the situation, I was just like, all right, Lord, I give up. I don't want to do this my way anymore. I want to do it your way. I'm going to try my best to do it your way. I'm going to try my best to, improve and better myself, focus on what I need to do. And he was like, okay. And what I thought was going to take maybe 6 months to a year turned into about 6 years. 6 years. So I'm like, Lord, what's going on? What's going on? Why am I still here? So he was like, because I got to shed some things off of you, change some mindsets, change some habits. And that he did. And still doing. Like, I'm not perfect. Let's cut to the chase. I'm not perfect at all. I don't portray to be the perfect person. I make mistakes just like everybody else, but I'm just open and honest about mine. Like, it just is what it is. We can't throw rocks and hide our hands. We all make mistakes. We all fall short. We all still sin. Like, it's just our human nature. We are human beings. God created us this way. And he doesn't expect us to be perfect. Like, I don't like when people think, oh, I got to be perfect before I come to Christ. No, he doesn't want you to be perfect. Like, he wants you exactly the way you are. So when you come to him, he can clean you up. Like, get all that dirt off. He wants you to come as you are. I feel like that's what the meaning of come as you are means. Like, not come dressed up with the perfect suit or the perfect hat or, the perfect pair of heels, looking like your face made up, looking like you got it all together. No, that's not come as you are. That's like you're hiding to me. Come as you are is like you coming in, you broken down, you're sad, your real authentic self. You going through some things. You need help. You need guidance. You need some type of refuge or some type of clarity and answers because you've been going through life trying to figure things out and it's not working out the way you thought it would work out. That's come as you are. Come as you are is humble. Being humble and just putting all your ego and your accolades, all that stuff it's out the window. Like, it don't matter. This is come as you are. Like, so when you get into a place or you find a church where it's like, come as you are, that's come as you are. Come as your full, authentic self. Not this made up person in your head where you feel like you got to hide how you really feeling or you got to hide what you're really going through. Not saying bleed all over people, but it's just, being real with yourself. Like, I feel like people in our generation, we hide so much, and we feel like we gotta put on this facade to make it seem like we got it all together, and deep down we're broken inside. And it's like the waiting room that's the refining. That's where the refining takes place. Like, I had to be refined. Like, I had to be stripped of so much trauma, damage, behaviors, insecurities. I had to be stripped of all those things. I had to really get into a place where I was ready to face myself too, because a lot of us, we don't want to look ourselves in the mirror. Like, we don't want to focus on what we have going on. We focus on everybody else and whatever else is going on, but we don't want to focus on ourselves because we're afraid of ourselves, because we got to face the true reality about us. And the first step is just getting to that place where you can admit that I'm a wretch, admit that I got some problems, admit that I need some work, like I need to do some self-work, some deep work. So yeah, the waiting room is definitely a place where you're being refined. And does it feel good? No. Heck no. Actually, you might want to cry every day. Like, you might want to isolate yourself from the world. I know I did, and I'm not afraid like to say it. I did. I was just like, oh my gosh, like I didn't really know what I was asking for when I was asking for, God to change me and to be a better person. I didn't really know what that took. I just thought, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we done. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, we done. So I'm going through this journey, and I'm like, oh Lord, wait a minute. Even the smallest thing of like you, I'm finding it. Even the smallest thing of like you having an issue with your sibling or something, and it's like y'all don't really get along, but you have this like deep down jealousy or something towards them because maybe your mom treated them better than she treated you, or she let your sibling get away with so much, but when you were growing up, you had to like it was strict with you. Like, the program was strict, okay? Strict. But then with this sibling, they can do whatever they want to do. So it's even down to that, to where you have to heal that place of jealousy, or you have to heal that place of bitterness, or just feeling like, well, dang, I got it hard, but this sibling got it easy. And you don't yell at them. I got whoopings, but they didn't get no whooping for doing this, or whatever the case is. So it comes all the way down to that. It comes all the way down to just your own insecurities, or your insecurities in relationships. Like, when you feel like somebody not texting you back fast enough, then you go into this whole mode of, oh my God, they don't like me. Oh my God, the spark is falling apart between us, and I don't know if this is going to work out, when it's just literally your abandonment being triggered. How do I know this? I went through this. I had abandonment so strong that every time I feel like somebody will pull away or not text me back fast enough, I felt like, oh, they don't like me, or this is going downhill, this is about to fail. I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. And it's just like, no, that's just a part of your abandonment. I didn't know how to like process my social cues with people and realize that, okay, they have a life outside of you. They have things to do. It's more to their life than just texting you or talking to you all day. And that's something I had to grow up and grow out of, to realize that people are people. They have lives outside of me, just like I got a life outside of them. But see, the way I thought about things was, I have a life outside of you, but I still make time for you too. And I felt like if you didn't make time for me, then obviously, this is going nowhere. But that's not always the case. People communicate different. They were raised different. They have different views on how they process things, or they're just not a good communicator. Like, you got people that can't do more than 2 things at one time. They're not good multitaskers. I'm a good multitasker. So it's just those things, like those little subtle things that you think aren't a big deal, but they really are a big deal. And everybody's not out to get you. Like, everything isn't I had to learn, like, everything is not always what it seemed to be. Especially when you're assuming things. Like, you got to ask questions about stuff. Like, this is where the communication comes in. If you're not a good communicator, you will not, like, prevail in relationships, friendships, family ships, whatever. Like, you got to communicate. And it's like, you got to learn how to communicate effectively, and you got to learn how to communicate and understand, have comprehension, like, of what the other person is saying. And it's like, when you're communicating, you can't make it seem like, oh, me, I. My perspective is the only perspectives that matters or makes sense. No, you got to respect that other person's perspective as well. So, you know, it's a challenge. Like, it's a challenge, especially coming in contact with so many different walks of life and so many different people coming from different places. That waiting room, being in the waiting room, it's like you're learning more about yourself, how you communicate, if you have good communication skills or bad. Like, sometimes I have good communication skills, and sometimes my communication skills suck. And they're not up to par. And I can own that. I can admit that, because why? I spent that time with myself, being in that process, in that waiting room, realizing that I need to work on some areas. It's some areas I need to grow in. It's some areas I need to improve in. It's some areas that I'm lacking in. Like, and when you notice that, it's like, okay, you let the Lord do the work. Like, you let him start to dig in there and do the work.
So also in the waiting room, it's your space to cleanse, your space to cry, your space to mourn, your space to grieve. And I mourned, I cried, I grieved. I grieved people that are no longer here. I grieved people that are still living. I grieved my old self. You know what? The worst thing, well, not the worst thing, but grieving your old self, like, I never knew you could even do that. Like, grieve the old you. But it was one season in my life that I was like grieving the old me. Like, just not so much of the mistakes and stuff, but I don't know, like, certain traits about me, like the innocence about me, or like the pureness about me. But I knew it was coming back. I just didn't know when. But also grieving, like, certain things I used to do, like certain friends, certain places I used to go, just the life that I had before I kind of like turn my life over to Christ and like try to go a different path. I did grieve my old life a little bit because I was so like used to it. Like, when you used to something for 20 plus years, it's hard to break those habits. It's hard to break out of that. Like, and you switching for something that's totally foreign. Like, so I grieved. Like, I grieved my old self. I grieved my old life for a minute. It was about a season, maybe a few seasons. It might have been two, but I definitely grieved and I definitely cried because I was like, man, this is hard. Like, I might as well stay in the world. Like, this is hard for me. Like, it's harder trying to do right than it is doing wrong. If that makes sense. No, seriously, it's hard trying to do right than to do wrong. It's easy to do wrong because we born into sin, shaped in iniquity. So it's easy to sin and do what our flesh wants us to do, but it's so difficult for us to do right and like turn things around. Especially if you had habits like, well, you were a smoker, you were a drinker. It's easy to go drink when you got problems, but it's harder to go and not take a drink and solve your problems in a whole different way. Like, I had to figure out a more positive way to deal with my issues than to just run to the drink or run to the drugs or run to the sex or run whatever. Like, run to the things that made me no good rather than dealing with it in a different way. So yeah, that's crazy. That's like, that was hard. That was difficult because, I remember I could just, we going to the bar. Oh, something happened. We're going through something. My dude and broke up with me, or You know, we done had an argument or the job stressing me out. Okay, we can go to the bar, we can get a drink, blah, blah, blah. But now, I'm like, nah, I gotta sit with it. I gotta sit with it. Like, I gotta sit with these things and I gotta figure out a different coping mechanism. That's what it is. Coping. It's like we use, you know, all those vices as coping mechanisms. And it's like, no, you gotta cope sober. Like, I had to learn to cope sober. For real. And that was, I had my moments. I'm not gonna say it was hard, but I wasn't used to that. Like, because it was easy access for me to go get what I needed to get to feel better. Now it's like, all right, I gotta handle this sober. I gotta handle these problems sober. I'm like, oh my God, I'm sober. Like, it's no joke. Like, it's real life. Like, handling things sober sometimes you was like, oh my goodness. This is what sober people, this is what it feels like to be sober all the time. So yeah, that space of grieving my old ways of thinking, my old habits. And I'm just like, wow, I really got to turn over a new leaf. And now how I cope with things, I go to the gym. I pamper myself. I might spend a little money on, but not too much money on, because we got to be financially responsible. But, you know, I just find different outlets, you know, that's better for me. And I encourage you guys to find outlets that are better for you and not pulling you back down. Because honestly, what are the drinks and the drugs really doing? They ain't doing nothing but pulling us back, holding us back. And we're not in our right mind. And guess what? The problem is still going to be there when you become sober anyway. So it's like, what's the point? And in that waiting room, I had to learn that. Like, it's really, I'm not really gaining nothing from, you know, doing this stuff. The problems are still there when I wake up or when I finish throwing up by the toilet. The problems are still there. The hurt is still there. The trauma is still there. So I got to go about this a whole nother way. Like, I got to figure this thing out. How I'm going to go through it a whole nother way. So yeah, in that waiting room, I'm telling y'all, the waiting room, the battles that you secretly fight, that's a part of the battles that we secretly fight. The alcoholism, you know, the generational curses, you know, getting high all the time, having sex all the time, like, or just processing those childhood traumas. You know, you didn't see people get killed your whole life. You didn't grew up in an environment where it was so much violence, or you grew up in an environment where it was so much abuse. You know, your parents didn't get along, or you only had one parent in the house, or you seeing, you know, your mama bringing all these men in and out of the house because she's trying to find love herself and, you know, find her way. Or vice versa, your dad, you see him bringing all these women in and out of the house. You meeting a different person all the time. He trying to find his way. So all of that in a 20-something year time span. And you think you're going to turn out all right? You think you're going to turn out all right? You really think that? You really think, oh, well, this is just the way I am. What people like to say, this is how I am. No. You think that, but it's really not. And it's just like, no, we got to break that. We got to break those, you know, thoughts of this is just how I am. This is just, yeah, it might be how you grew up, but that don't mean you got to stay there. I had to come to realize, okay, yeah, my family was dysfunctional, or I was dysfunctional. Some things happened, but that don't mean I got to stay there and soak in that and make that a part of my identity. That's what we do. We take our problems and we make them our identity. This is a part of me now. No. I had to learn, like, no, I don't want this a part of me. I don't want this attached to me. How can I get this off of me? Because it's not doing nothing but constantly playing in my head and reminding me of what happened or what took place. And it's like, you got to break that stuff. It's generational stuff, generational curses. Because your mama did it, your grandma did it, your great grandma did it. So that means you got to do it. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It is 2025. We got to break these curses going on. The bloodline, it stops with me. And I had to make that decision where these things stop with me. No more having a baby out of wedlock. No more not being married. No more settling for less. No more being prideful, or no more holding grudges. Like, you got people that hold. I used to be a grudge holder, okay? A grudge holder. I did not play. But now, being, mature and wise now, it's like, what am I holding grudges for? That ain't hurting nobody but myself. I'm causing myself heart issues because I'm holding grudges. I'm making myself sick because I'm holding grudges. Stressing myself out because I ain't forgive that person. We gotta forgive. And the Lord, He won't deal with you about forgiveness, baby, because forgiveness is one of the things that a lot of people go to hell for. like it is one of the main things that people go to hell for. Even Christians go to hell for unforgiveness. I mean, we just gonna be real. You got to forgive. You got to forgive that person for what they did to you 20 years ago. You got to forgive that person for what they did to you 10 years ago, a year ago, 3 hours ago, 2 minutes ago. What the Bible say? Forgive 70 times 7. 70 times 7. I'm like, Lord, 70 times 7? What that look like? Every instant, every engagement, every encounter. If somebody wronged you in some type of way, you got to forgive them. Like, you have to. Not just for them, but for you. It's for you, honestly. Because that person that moved on with life, went on about their life, and you still holding on to something that was 10 years ago, 5 years ago. And you forgive them and move on. You forgive and forget. I don't like when people say, oh, I forgive, but I ain't forget. Well, that means you ain't over it. If you ain't forget it, you got to forget it. And come to that waiting room. He gonna be like, oh, you ain't forgive this person. You didn't forgive this situation. Be putting all your business out there. Oh, you didn't forgive this. You need to go back and forgive them. And not saying that it's easy. It's easier said than done. It's a process now, because especially for the ones that you got to forgive for some heinous stuff that people done. Whether you've been molested or raped or, robbed or whatever. Or your family, somebody in your family that got killed, or your friend, or something that happened that affected you directly or around you, you gotta forgive. Like, and it's very hard to forgive, especially for those hard things, to where your friend got killed, or your parent, or somebody close to you, something that happened to them, and you gotta turn around and forgive that person. I used to ask God, like, what you mean forgive? How am I supposed to forgive that and they did this to me? Even that boyfriend that did you wrong, or that girlfriend that did you wrong. You got to forgive them. Because guess what? People lack knowledge. They don't. Lord, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Everybody makes mistakes. And everybody learns at their own pace. Or some people just straight up evil. They know what they doing. But you still got to forgive them. And I was in that waiting room like, man, Lord. And you know why I had to forgive? Because he forgave me. I wasn't always the best of the best to be around. I was devious sometimes. I was manipulative. I was, just a mess. I was a mess. So he was like, you need to forgive. I forgave you, so you got to forgive. And that's in the word. God forgive us, and we got to forgive other people. And all you got to do is just pray like, Lord, help me forgive them. The mature response is, Lord, help me to forgive them, because I can't do this by myself. I can't do this within my own strength. So it's just like, Lord, that's one of your prayers. If you have a hard time forgiving, one of your prayers is, Lord, help me to forgive them and forget the situation. Erase it from my mind, because what's the point of holding on to that? Why hold on to it? And just constantly being reminded of something so evil and so devious that a person did to you. And vice versa. You might have done something to somebody, and you will want them to forgive you. And if you don't, you got some issues. You gotta you gotta work that out. You gotta work it out. But yeah, I had to forgive my parents. I had to forgive my past situations, boyfriends, all that did me wrong. I had to even forgive myself for putting myself in certain predicaments and situations that I knew I shouldn't have been in, but I put myself in it anyway, just being hard-headed and being rebellious. Cause let's cut to the point. A lot of us are rebellious, and a lot of us we are responsible, and we need to take accountability for our own suffering because we put ourselves in some of these situations we had no business being in. Let's just call it what it is. Let's call a spade a spade. Some of these things we went through is because we put ourselves in it. We knew that we wasn't supposed to do it, or we weren't supposed to be with this person, and we did it anyway. And we ignored the wisdom when somebody tried to warn us and tell us, but we did it anyway. So the outcome became the outcome. This is what happened. And you just got to have accountability. Accountability is in that waiting room. You got to take responsibility for your actions, and you got to be held accountable. Like, the Lord be like, Ricky, you knew you weren't supposed to be in that situation. Your mama even told you weren't supposed to be in that situation. You decided to get in that situation anyway, and this was the outcome. But this situation taught me so much, and I matured so much from the lessons that I learned in that situation. But maybe I didn't need those lessons too. I could have avoided those lessons, but because I decided to be rebellious and hard-headed, I had to learn them lessons. And now look at me. I'm begging. I'm going to God, asking Him to get me out of something I put myself in. And a lot of us do this, and we don't want to face that fact. But a lot of us do it, and I see it all the time. I see it. I be on TikTok, just scrolling. My For You page, it's full of so much good and bad. Some bad stuff, I'm like, I don't even know how I got on here, because I just want to see people cook or make me laugh or learn something. But it be full of, sometimes it be full of stories of how women are expressing themselves, or how, they be in these crazy situations. And everybody be in the comments like, well, did you not see the red flags? The red flags. Did you not see the red flag? The red flags were there from the beginning. And it's like, that's why we got to wake up. You better wake up. You better have discernment. My discernment had to grow in this waiting room. I had to discern who was around me, what was around me, where I'm at. Like, that discernment had to grow, because I had to fill out people's, I'm not going to say energies, but fill out people's, I don't even know what I want to call it, but fill people out, basically. Like, I'm very observant as a person, and people think, oh, you so quiet. No, I'm observing the room. I'm trying to see what's in here. I'm trying to see what's going on before I get comfortable, or before I get friendly with you. Like, I'll come in and speak, hey, how you doing? But I gotta feel the room out. Like, who in here? What's going on? What's the vibes up in here? Like, y'all like to say the vibes. We like to say vibes. What's the vibe in here? Before I really let my hair down. It's not that I'm being rude or, stuck up or anything. No, I'm very down to earth. I'm a real down to earth person, but I'm very cautious and aware of my surroundings. And you gotta be like that, because you could be in a room with a whole, I ain't gonna say serial killer, but you could be in a room with a whole person that just don't have no good in them. And you around it, and it's bouncing off of them and getting onto you, and you wonder why you feel like, you feeling some type of way, because something's in the room. So you really got to have discernment. In the waiting room, my discernment had to increase. My wisdom had to grow. I had to get in my word more. Like, I had to really deal with myself. Like, everybody talk about this healing journey. This healing journey ain't no joke. It's very linear, but it's no joke. And if you're not ready to face yourself for real, then it's no need to even play with it for real. There's no need to even step into it if you're not ready. Not saying that I was ready, but I was ready, but I wasn't ready, because I didn't really know what to expect. But when I got in it, I was in it. So I'm in it. And it's like, it's been the best journey. Yeah, it's been hard. It's been tough. I didn't cry. I didn't weep. I didn't boo-hoo. I done thrown up. I done did all that. But at the end of the day, it's better. It's better for me because look at me now. Like I'm sitting in front of y'all today, encouraging somebody else today, saying you can do this. And you just got to take the time and you just got to be willing to be like, hey, I'm ready to change. And if you're not ready to change, okay, cool. You change at your own pace. But don't take too long. Don't wait too long. Because that's the worst thing too. We think that we have so much time. And we don't know how much time we got on this earth. We don't know how much time. We don't know the day nor the hour. So it's like, start now. Start the process now. Start getting it done because you want to see, you know, the other side of things and you want to see a bright future ahead of yourself. You don't want to like fall victim to, you know, doing what everybody else was doing and falling victim to what your family did. No, like I just feel like it stops with us. And I see that a lot in my generation that it stops with us. A lot of things have stopped with us and I'm very proud of us. But it's like we got to keep it going. We got to keep it going. We got to keep spreading the good news. We got to keep encouraging each other and loving each other and coming together as a community. It's like the other day, I was talking to the Lord. Lord, what is going on with my lashes? But I was talking to the Lord and I'm like, and he was telling me, you know, you out here trying to find a community and I want you to build it. And I was like, say less. Say less. All right, he really be checking me. He really be checking me because we, you know, we be out here searching for things and God has called us to be the builder. When you a leader, you lead, and there's certain things that come with the leader. They take initiative, they communicate, they bring things together. They got the master plan, they got the vision. He gives us the vision, and he's given me the vision to create my own community. And this is why I have Half the Full podcast. Half the Full podcast. This is my community, the safe space. This is not your ordinary podcast. We're going to get on here, we're going to talk real. And that's all I ever want to be is real. I don't want to be fake. That's why I took that time off from the last episode. I took that time off because I had to get myself together. And now that I'm coming together, I can share more. I can talk more without feeling no type of way and helping the next person. Like, it's all love here. Like, and that's why I love about me coming out of the other side of this is just, it's all love up in here. Because at first it wasn't that much love in there. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was not that much love in here in this heart of mine. Even though I was very nice and kind, but still I was struggling with the love piece because it's difficult to love people. It's difficult to, you know, put yourself out there. But I love y'all. I love people in my circle. I love people outside of my circle. I love strangers. And if any way possible, I'm going to have a conversation with you. If you know me, you know, you start talking to me, we're going to be talking for a minute. And we're going to leave out there either healed, delivered, crying, but we're going to feel good at the end of the day. Ask about me. So yeah, it's just, you know, being in that waiting room, it's like hibernation. You closed off, you lock in. What we say, we locked in. We got to lock in. That's a lock in right there. Being in the waiting room, that's a lock in. Like you locked in with God, you locked in with your goals, you locked in with what's the next steps on where you need to be, growing wise, mindset wise, maturity, everything. So it's just like, you know, trust the process. And I know we hate that, but trust the process. It's a long process. It's a long process. And it's so many layers in the process. But it's the most worth it process I probably say I could ever have gone through. And if you can make it through, that's how you can tell somebody else about it. And my goal is to be the light that shine in the dark. Be the light that God gave me, and to help my brother or my sister. Like, hey, we gotta get this right. And God calls the qualified.
Qualified. He qualifies the call.
He qualifies the call. Get me right, Kara. Get me right. Because my brain is all over the place.
Well, say it again. Yeah, say it again.
What is it? He called.
God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called.
Yeah, there we go. God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. Boom. All right, we got it. Got it. Get me right, Kara. Get me right. But see, like, I need her. Like,
oh my gosh.
Y'all can't see Kara, but Kara's my girl. She behind the camera. But I need her. And we need each other. We need each other. So, yeah, I'm building this community. And, you know, I'm just, man, I'm walking through this thing. I'm walking through it. And in order to get to the promises that God has, we got to do what he say. We got to be obedient. We got to do what he say. We got to take it serious. No, for real. All jokes aside, it's a serious thing. And the Lord wants what's best for us. He wants what's best for your lineage, the people, the generations coming after you and me. And it's a standard. Like, it's a standard. We think we can't reach the standard, but no, he'll help you get there. It's not going to be all peaches and cream. You're not going to be perfect. But as long as you're striving and the Lord sees you trying, bro, you're going to be fine. I'm fine. People always ask, how do you do it? How did you get through that? How did you make it out of that? How did you make it through these situations? Because first of all, I submitted myself to the Lord. I had to submit. I had to humble myself. I had to get in a place to where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And when God started revealing like the things that he had in store for me, I wanted those things, but I knew I had to put the work in. So yeah, I had to spend time in that waiting room. What I thought would took 6 months took 6 years. And I'm really starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel now, because I took the proper steps to, first of all, believe in God, believe in myself that I could do it, and just that wanting better for myself is what got me here. So I'm just grateful. And I encourage you all to go to that waiting room, go to that quiet place, go to that, sacred place with God, and let him work on you. Let him do surgery, heart surgery. Let him change your mindset. Let him change your heart posture towards people, places, and things. Because you're going to come out so much better, bro. And you're going to be so thankful that you went through that process. You might, hit a few bumps and curves along the way, but that's life. Like, life is full of bumps and curves, trials and tribulations. Life is just uncontrollable. We don't have control of what life is going to throw at us, but we do have control over how we respond and how we look at situations and how we handle situations and handle people. So yeah, I'm just, here to encourage you. Do that thing. Go to that waiting room. Take that time for yourself. And it's going to be so beneficial for you and for the people that are around you and that God wants you to come in contact with. I feel like this journey has been so beneficial for me, not just for me, but for the people that are around me and that see the light in me. They see something different about me and they want to know what that is. And it's just all simple. It's just a submission, submitting yourself to the Lord for real and really getting in there and taking this thing serious, building it brick by brick and running your own race. So I'm just here. This is a family. This is the Half the Full podcast. We family. We keep it real over here. And I just love y'all. I appreciate you. Follow the page, Half the Full podcast. Ask questions. Hit my inbox. Hit my inbox with things y'all want me to talk about, or if you want to be a guest on here, hit my inbox. We're going to come. We're going to come in here. We're going to talk for real. We're going to let our hair down, and it's going to all be in love. So I just love y'all. I appreciate you for joining me tonight. Like I said, follow, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Half the Full Podcast. You're going to get the updates. So when I drop videos, you're going to get notifications on what's going on, what's happening next. Share with your friends. You know, let everybody know this is a community. We building a community. So I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. We out.